My ex-husband's new wife tried to relocate my son to Portugal without telling me, and now demands I sign over custody. I found out Bianca was planning to take my son Oliver to Portugal when the school secretary called about missing documents. We need his birth certificate for the student visa application, she said. Mrs. Hutchinson submitted everything except that. I'm Mrs. Hutchinson, have been for 8 years before the divorce, and kept the name for Oliver. Bianca is Mrs. Torres Hutchinson for exactly 11 months. What student visa? I asked. That's how I learned my ex-husband Kyle and his new wife had enrolled Oliver in an international school in Lisbon starting September. They'd paid the $15,000 deposit, signed a lease on an apartment, even bought Oliver new uniforms with the school crest, never mentioned a word to me. Kyle and I divorced 3 years ago after he cheated with his personal trainer, not Bianca, someone before her. We had 50-50 custody, worked out schedules peacefully, never fought about Oliver. I thought we were doing divorced parenting right. Kyle met Bianca at a wine tasting 10 months after our divorce. She was 26, owned a travel blog, called herself a digital nomad, had 45,000 Instagram followers and no actual job. They married 8 months later in a ceremony Oliver and I weren't invited to. Fine by me. But Bianca immediately started overstepping, called herself Oliver's bonus mom, showed up to parent-teacher conferences, posted photos of Oliver on her travel blog without permission. I kept my mouth shut because Oliver seemed happy. That ended with a Portugal phone call. I drove straight to Kyle's house. Bianca answered wearing designer workout clothes that probably cost more than my mortgage payment. Oh, you heard, she said, actually smiling. Isn't it exciting? Oliver's going to experience authentic European culture, not this suburban wasteland. Behind her, I could see boxes labeled Oliver's room, Lisboa. They'd been packing his things. Kyle appeared looking guilty, but trying to play confident. We were going to tell you once everything was finalized, he said. Bianca got an amazing opportunity to partner with Portuguese tourism boards. It's just for a year. A year? I stayed calm even though my hands were shaking. You're taking my son to another country for a year? Our son, Bianca corrected. And it's hardly another country. Portugal is very civilized. They have excellent schools, better than here actually. That's when she pulled out the papers. Custody modification agreements. Already filled out, just needed my signature. This makes sense for everyone, she said. You're always complaining about juggling work and parenting. Now you can focus on your career while we give Oliver proper cultural exposure. I took the papers and left without signing. That night, I called my brother-in-law Stephen, who happens to be a federal prosecutor. Told him everything. He made one phone call. Turns out attempting to remove a child from the country without both parents' consent is attempted parental kidnapping. The next morning, 2 federal agents showed up at Kyle's office, not to arrest him, just to ask questions about the Portugal situation, loud enough for his colleagues to hear. They asked about the apartment lease, the school enrollment, the plane tickets already purchased for next month. Kyle called me screaming an hour later. You involved the feds? Are you insane? You tried to steal my son, I said. Consider yourself lucky they're just asking questions. But I wasn't done. See, Bianca's travel blog was her whole identity. Those 45,000 followers were everything to her. She made maybe $2,000 a month from sponsorships, but acted like she was running an empire. The Portuguese tourism board deal was her biggest break, worth $50,000 plus expenses. So I called my friend Louise, who works in international tourism marketing, asked her to look into Bianca's engagement rates. Turns out 30,000 of her followers were purchased bots from ClickFarms. Her actual engagement rate was below 2%. Industry standard for her follower count should be 8% minimum. Louise happened to mention this at an industry conference in Miami. Word got around to the Portuguese tourism board. They pulled Bianca's contract within 48 hours. But the best part came during the emergency custody hearing Stephen helped me file. Bianca showed up in a Portugal soccer jersey, thinking it was cute. The judge was not amused. Mrs. Torres Hutchinson, the judge said, reading from Bianca's submitted statement. You wrote that the biological mother is holding Oliver back from life-changing experiences. Can you elaborate? Bianca stood up eagerly. Oliver deserves more than strip malls and chain restaurants. In Portugal, he'd learn about real culture, art, history, proper food, not this American mediocrity his mother's content with. I see, Judge Robertson said. And what languages do you speak? English and some Spanish from college. Portuguese? I was going to learn with Oliver. Total immersion is the best way. The judge turned to me. Do you speak Portuguese? No, I admitted, but I'm not trying to move him there either. Judge Robertson looked at Kyle. Mr. Hutchinson, were you planning to move to Portugal as well? Kyle shifted nervously. I was going to visit monthly. My job is here. So your plan, the judge said slowly, was to send your 8-year-old son to a foreign country where he doesn't speak a language with a stepmother he's known for less than a year while you stay here for work? The courtroom went silent. Full story on channel. Link below.